What's going on, guys? It's Jan. Finally done with the Quarry playthrough, dude. I'm telling you right now, the amount of copyright shit that I dealt with on there, I was losing my mind! And also for the amount of people that were leaving the comments on the videos, they're like on like part 3, part 4, and they're saying shit like, hey dude, this is how the hold breath mechanic works. Please do it right. And other people saying shit like, man, I used to always wonder how people made stupid ass decisions in movies. This guy makes the worst decisions ever. And I guarantee you, by the end of the story, by the end of the series, my playthrough was better. More people in my playthrough survived than yours. All the people that was talking all that shit, my playthrough was better. I had more people alive. I extrapolated scenarios, screaming at me like the hold breath truly matters. But even with those failed hold breath sequences, look how well I did. Look, I'm leaving comments on like part 3 about how I'm not doing something right. They don't understand. Part 4, 5, and 6 were all done in the same sitting. You can see that. So you talking to me there, you're talking to the past me. I had to get that shit out of the way. Get it off my chest. Because I'd be reading shit and I'm just like, calling me stupid. Look at my playthrough compared to yours. Look how many dead counselors you got. So the other thing, people saying that Abby was just scratched and not bit. No, she was absolutely bitten. Like if you go and look at it, she was absolutely bitten. But there's like a theory that if like Jacob is wearing like the, whatever, man. Something to do with like a character can wear like silver jewelry or something. They could like not transform or some shit. But it's still stupid that none of the characters even asked Abigail if she was okay. Literally. They asked her if she was okay more than when Nick was turning. Not when she came back with a giant gash in her neck and shoulder. She didn't even start transforming. She didn't even react. Clearly the main character. But anyway, we got a new update here. Bring this up over here. Finally, so we got a new roadmap for the new season that's starting next Tuesday, right? Tuesday, Wednesday. First, we'll look at some Vanguard because I'm sure that this is literally just completely empty and stupid since they completely have ignored MP this entire time. I'm really hoping that they really don't ignore MP as much on Modern Warfare 2. I genuinely hope that they get Modern Warfare 2 in a good place where maybe a bit more people are not so opposed to just playing multiplayer. It seems like now it's become this thing where anyone that played multiplayer before, they got absorbed into the BR genre and they like BR. I'm still not a big fan of BR, so for me, it never really stuck. And for some people, when Resurgence came out with Rebirth Island and this new one that's coming up actually right here, Fortune's Keep, they see this as like the newer multiplayer experience. I've even seen some people say they should drop a 6v6 multiplayer altogether in favor of BR respawn. Fuck that and fuck you. I don't want to play BR. I want classic MP. It is a separate skill set. Just because you get your shit rocked over on MP so you go crying and running over to BR doesn't mean that MP is dead. I'm so hurt. I'm sorry. Anyway, new maps for Vanguard. Now, this is Vanguard. I literally do not care, but they're gonna have some new weapons, so I'll be able to grind some atomic. So we got USS Texas 1945, Desolation. No idea if either of them are gonna be good. I didn't dislike the USS Texas on, what game was USS Texas on again? I don't remember, but I actually kind of like that map. They also made a smaller version of that map, and I actually like that as well, so I don't know. Round-based zombie Shinonuma, finally, 7 months, 8 months after release, or whatever it is, we finally have one round-based zombies map, and honestly, that's really depressing. I'm not even a zombies player, and that shit is so disappointing, but hey, at least they finally added one, I guess. Blueprint gun game, don't care. New Pack-a-Punch camo, don't care. New quest and narrative, okay, might be kind of cool, might be like an Easter egg or some shit, but I'm probably not gonna do it. Wonder Weapon quest, that's cool. New story, intel, and more. It's more like zombie stuff, so not really interested. So basically just 3 new maps. Round-based zombies map, 2 MP maps. All right. When was the last time we got a sniper rifle? Have we ever actually even gotten a sniper rifle in Vanguard? We got the Gorenko, right? How many months ago was that? And it's not even useful in Warzone either. It's like absurdly slow even for like MP. New operators, Carver, Calum, and Ikena. New bundles, Horsemen of the Apocalypse looks pretty cool, but I don't really encourage anybody to really buy any of this shit anymore. Also, just to note, any of this stuff that's coming out now is pretty much not worth it to really buy any of it, considering none of it's going to transfer over to Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. And people are like still surprised by that shit. Like, you guys do realize, you BR guys that got hooked back into Call of Duty, you are back in the original COD cycle. You know that, right? You are in the same cycle that us MP guys are in now, where you're going to think that the last one was better and it wasn't as bad as people remember, and all of the issues that were there you don't remember anymore. It'll just flush out and you'll only remember all the good nostalgic shit, and you'll long for it to come back and everything, and then they'll move on to the next one. You're gonna know what it feels like to be an MP player year over year now. They're going to take everything that you knew and loved from the last one and completely throw it in the trash. That's just how it goes. They're going to forget all of the progress that they made in Warzone 1 to Warzone 2. There's going to be things that were an issue in Warzone 1 like design-wise, that are likely going to be in Warzone 2 that we're going to have to beg for them to change, or at least waste time asking for it. That's the most annoying shit possible. New weapons, the Marco 5, it looks like a SMG or something. The UGM8, it's an LMG, beefy looking one. A push dagger melee weapon, which is pretty cool. It's like the things in CS, I'm assuming, where like you put it in the palm of your hand and it sticks out. And then they got the Vargo S. Is that literally like an SMG version of the Vargo or some shit? Wait, we already got the Vargo before, didn't we? It's a different Vargo. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Scope, he said, we've literally gotten 3 SMGs in a row the past few seasons. No new snipers since season 1. It's crazy how they went and nerfed the sniper rifles, and everyone was saying that I was crying and shit like that. But if you go and look statistically at the overall usage of sniper rifles, there's no sniper rifle within the top 10 used weapons in the game anymore. They have, not only did they remove one of the more fun aspects of the game, I understand that people cried about it and everything, but they literally basically killed the entire category of weapons because people couldn't handle getting shot in the fucking face. They killed the entire category. They're no longer viable. There's no point. A sniper rifle, none of them. None of the sniper rifles. The HDR and the ZRG are the best ones that are left at the moment that actually don't have that, you know, distance nerf thing. And even the ones like the Car 98 that everybody used and abused, admittedly did deserve to be nerfed, but they went and swept across the entire class, and now all of them have fallen out of meta. Every single one of them. The NZ beams you from that distance. The STG beams you from that distance. I can name like 3 or 4 other weapons as well that are all long-range builds that will just absolutely melt you if you're trying to snipe against it. Ricochet is a new feature that will automatically disarm players if they are suspected of cheating. I left a comment that said, literally, your input should just explode. Ricochet should go as far as to actually scare people from actually cheating. Not just like the threat of a ban. That doesn't hurt. You can just load in again. Hardware bans? Doesn't seem like it always works. I've seen multiple people, even on just live streams, just swap multiple accounts on the same machine and it still works fine. That's not even me going at Ricochet. I'm saying that Ricochet should just make people scared. And what I mean by that is you could just be sitting there, a little cheater, you boot the game up with your little controller on and shit like that. Your controller will start smelling your... What is that? And then your input just fucking explodes in your hand. Fry their inputs. Adding an EMP grenade, ATMs and plunder. I don't know what the fuck that means. We're adding some EMP grenade. Hope that's not too strong. I don't know what the counter is either. More pictures of Fortune's Keep. I think this looks much better than the Alcatraz / Rebirth that everybody really likes. I don't really like the layout of Rebirth, personally, but I don't play a ton of Rebirth. I don't even know where my complaints would honestly start. I just like the way that this looks visually more. Gameplay from people, it's like this crazy, super high saturation, turned up incredibly high. It just doesn't look good. The map just looks bad to me. Inside is like all orange and ugly. Storage Town, side-by-side comparison. I mean, you can't tell me this looks worse than Rebirth Island. You can't tell me that. I think everybody just has this sour taste in their mouth from Caldera, when in reality, they're already overreacting to begin with. This looks beautiful. I'm not saying it's gonna play well, but in terms of looks, this absolutely does look better than Rebirth Island. See what people are saying, you know, in terms of corridors and buildings and shit like that. Trust me, I know. But the same people that are complaining about all of these doors and corridors and windows and corners and shit are the same people that are asking for Verdansk back. You do realize Verdansk had down fucking town, right? It's so backwards. Also, there's like a portable redeployed balloon now, which actually sounds pretty cool, but I have a feeling that could probably have some weird ass bugs, or like it's super shitty where you can't just place it down anywhere that you want. Like if it's on a slope, it's not gonna work, you know, shit like that. This skin looks fucking crazy. But again, obviously, I mean, I don't recommend going to buy this shit, but here I am rocking the no aim assist clan tag while I abuse aim assist, okay? One thing that was interesting as well, there was an interview that was with one of the devs over at Infinity Ward for, you know, the people that are working on Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2, where they basically just said that aim assist kind of just overperforms. So I don't really know if that means that aim assist is gonna end up getting hit going into the next game. In my mind, I know that they know statistically aim assist is too strong, as they've stated it, but at the same time, it's so surprising that they actually even stated that. But at the same time, if they go and hit that, they effectively hurt like 80%, maybe even like 85, 90% of the player base. It's gonna be this thing of like how people miss Verdansk and they're forgetting all the problems with Verdansk and shit like that, and they're gonna have all these like amazing memories and shit with it, and they're gonna have this idea of like, oh man, I don't really like Warzone 2. I can't hit my shots as well as in Warzone 1. I don't know what's up. I can't control the weapon as well, blah blah blah. I think I like Warzone 1 better, and then they'll find every excuse to hate Warzone 2. I don't know, people are just actively intellectually dishonest. Obviously, I mean, people are gonna go into Warzone 2 being ultra critical. I mean, look at me, I'm super critical. I've been super critical of Warzone this entire time, and I literally have like 4,500 kills total over like 2 years or whatever it is. So when I say, you know, me and BR, I can't play it for like long periods of time, yeah, there's your evidence right there. It's not bullshit. Also, yeah, they talked about, what was it? Ralph's Valve ended up putting out an article thing. I don't even know if I can find the link since he's always deleting all of his tweets and shit. I understand, but he mentioned all the new movement systems and shit like that in the game. Yeah, so they're gonna be like removing like 50% of the vegetation in the map, and I don't really know if that's gonna make the map any better or worse. It's so weird how people are talking about how there's too much vegetation on the map, there's too many like campers and bushes and shit like that. I think it's more that people are frustrated at the randomness of where people can be shot from on the map, whereas in Verdansk, even though they knew that people are literally sitting in multiple floor fortresses, they at least know where they're at and where they can be safe, I guess, in comparison to them. I think they're both equally as bad. Like, the fact that you had to actively avoid a lot of the tall buildings because you knew the only ways up were covered is just completely, it's dog shit. Also, people move around more on Caldera than they did over on Verdansk. Caldera plays more quickly than Verdansk does. Because on Verdansk, a lot of people just sat inside of buildings. Now, obviously, in Caldera, you can sit there and hide. As an aggressive player, though, trying to drop more kills, I'm pretty sure the highest world records, even in the slowest game modes like solos, world record in solos on Caldera is higher than the record in solos over on Verdansk. The pace is higher over on this map. Now, the thing is, removing vegetation, I don't know if that speeds the game up or slows the game down, because here's the thing, like, moving from place to place is already scary in the map because of, you know, you could just be shot from anywhere if you just have no game sense whatsoever, right? But if they're gonna go and remove all of the foliage and shit where you're, like, hiding and shit, the vegetation, where you're able to get to cover and stuff, I don't really know how this is gonna play out. It feels like there's a lot of open spaces. They're adding, like, micro POIs as well, so I assume that's gonna be the new cover. Another thing that's been speculated as well is if they're removing all of this vegetation and shit, it's a big possibility that they could move the player count back up from 120 to 150 in solos anyway, or at least a little bit higher, because, you know, surely the map, I mean, obviously they're adding new POIs and stuff like that, so I'm assuming that's still gonna take up space, but surely removing all of these trees is gonna help with performance, right? And server stability. Oh no, obviously we'll see when it comes around, but look at this. See how he's playing around this elevation right here? With people playing around the elevation of peak and shit like that, it's like they weren't playing around the elevation of literally skyscrapers in the other one. At least on this thing, when they're peeking over like a cliff or something, they could be shot from any direction if they decide to shoot somebody below them. In Verdansk, you literally like just peek over the edge and just shoot anywhere on the map 360 degrees around you, and if somebody fires back at you, you just lay prone and you just sit up there and hide and hope that they come and press you at this horrible disadvantage. Like, how do people want that shit back? You ever go back and play an old video game that you used to really like and you're like, damn, I really played this that much? That's exactly what, if they brought back Verdansk, that's exactly how they would feel. But they're doing actually a smarter thing here. Instead of bringing back Verdansk, they're just putting certain Verdansk POIs in the map. They're bringing back Storage Town, for example. Now, given though, I don't really remember where the placement of Storage Town is. Maybe it's like over here or some shit, I don't remember. But it's in a weird spot, not really a hot spot. So, the thing about Storage Town was that it was right next to Superstore. If they wanted Storage Town to like be populated, they should put it next to Peak. But the thing is, Peak is overlooking it instead. It's not on the same like level, so it would be really bad. Like, you could land on top of Peak and then literally look over Storage Town and just shoot down at everybody there. It just wouldn't be good. So you have to think, like, where does it even make sense? Also, we don't even know, even though it's the exact layout and it does say Storage Town, it could just be done differently. They've done this before. I finally got Alexis to start watching some Hunter x Hunter. She loves that shit. That shit is so good. Then with the writer coming back with like more chapters and shit like that, like I've caught up all the way like on the manga and everything like that. I had to see for myself. I'm not waiting for it to be animated. Man, if they announce some sort of more anime episodes, I'm gonna shit myself. I mean, we've already had amazing things start coming back. Trigun, Berserk, Bleach. I'm trying to get back into playing Warzone, like just trying to convince myself to just casually at least play more, just so I'm like prep for Warzone 2. But I just feel like Warzone 2 with the movement things, yeah, I was actually talking about that. The movements, there's actually a little bit more to it. Like now, instead of like just the slide with the slide canceling and stuff, and again, we don't know, we can slide cancel, but we don't know if it's actually useful. We slide cancel because it resets tac sprint. If it doesn't reset tac sprint, slide canceling isn't nearly as good. It's not nearly as useful. But now you can actually like slide into a prone, which is actually really nice, because I know a lot of times where you go to slide behind cover, but the cover is just slightly low enough where they can still hit you in the head even though you're crouched, and you have to wait for your slide to stop in order for your character to get down into prone. So it'd be nice to actually be able to slide into a prone. It'll be really, really good. On top of, obviously, I mean, that's almost the same thing as a dive. So also, there was this other thing that people are finding a whole lot of shit, like Warzone 2 content is in Warzone mobile files for whatever reason. And on Warzone mobile, you can actually do this thing. I forget what it's called. You know how they always said this thing where, remember, switching to your pistol is always faster than reloading, and that is usually the case, right? If your primary runs out or whatever you're using initially runs out, it's always better to switch over to something else other than trying to reload in the middle of a fight. Now, they have actually added this thing where you'll actually be able to, instead of completely holstering your weapon to swap it to another one, you can quickly pull out a pistol. Your character will literally take the primary, set it to the side, and he'll pull a pistol out, and you can start shooting with the pistol. So instead of just completely swapping, it's like I'm shooting, I'm out of ammo, and then immediately just pull it out real quick. It's like the whole call an ambulance, but not for me. I'm getting this crazy frame drop over here. 120. It's crazy how I'm like over 200 on other parts of the map, and then we're down to like 120, and then we fly up to 180 just because he turned. I don't know, this is crazy looking. I'm hoping that this actually solves a lot of weird performance inconsistencies on Caldera in general, just by removing a lot of the foliage and vegetation and shit. Melts him with the Thompson. I really wish that Thompson was more meta. It's just not really worth it. I remember absolutely destroying lobbies with this Thompson over on Vanguard. This thing can have like 50, 100 round drums and shit like that. Like, it's just awesome. Although it wouldn't be completely needed for like solos the way that I play. This is definitely like, if it was a good weapon, this definitely could be used over in like, you know, duos, trios, maybe even quads. I mean, 8 kills at only level 11 is quite good, to be honest. Still looking at all of his weapons and shit. So people are running around with basically any camo that they want. I'll save that for another video, man. Holy shit. My camos still don't work, by the way. Yeah, I'm not just running around with a basic no camo NZ and no camo Blixen for nothing. I've unlocked the mastery camo for both of them, and I just simply can't use it. Oh, hello. Wait, oh, Dark Knight's cheating. I didn't even notice this guy was cheating. Gave him the sponge bullets. Ricochet just came in clutch right there. Now blow up the guy's console or computer. Think about what you've done. Imagine cheating and only have 8 kills. The other thing that I see all the time with people whenever they talk about Verdansk, like whenever somebody brings up something about Verdansk being bad, they immediately go to like what they think is bad about Caldera. Why can't you just accept that Verdansk is not what you're building it up to be? I don't know what it is with like in the social meta right now where people just constantly are just saying the extremes of everything. If something is good, it's the greatest of all time. It's the GOAT. If something's bad, it's the worst pile of shit that has ever existed. It's like people have completely forgotten actual like critical thinking skills. Like they're too like mentally lazy to actually like figure it out. It's gonna run away. I mean, I don't know what this scope is over on this AS-44, but already using this weapon, you're trolling. But with this scope on it, I mean, how do you even hit anything? I'm excited for Fortune's Keep and everything, but again, I was saying that I was excited for like Resurgence solos, and then they brought that and I played it like one time. Actually, I think I more or less spectated it than played it. I don't know. Rebirth just doesn't feel like a real mode to me. It feels like for like BR clips, it feels like Rebirth is like Demolition or some shit. The mode is just kind of cheesy. I wonder if that Dark Knight guy is still in this lobby. You guys are all cheaters, every single one of you.
A cheater? Wow,
You're all cheaters, all of you.
Someone's butt hurt.
Aimbot. Strike Pack, Cronus, unlock menu. I'm looking forward to Caldera a lot more. I want to see how it plays. It could be better, could be worse. But honestly, sounds like a good update.